Since the propellant is hygroscopic, we need to protect against moisture. This aluminum foil duct tape is superb at blocking moisture if you get a good seal. So we're going to make sure we get one. All right, I'm going to peel it off the backing. And note which end is which. Okay, that's the nozzle end, that's to my right. I'm going to roll it up. Roll it up. I cut too much tape here. That's all right. Better to err in that direction. I should have measured. Roll it up, roll it up. Okay, rolls all the way over. And a little bit cumbersome here. But that's all right. That's the nozzle end, so it simply gets sealed. I'll press this down nice and tight, mash it flat, and twist it up. Now that the nozzle end is well and tightly sealed, I can measure out the ejection charge and put that in. I'm going to weigh that. I have my little card, turn on my little scale. And then this is a little bit of meal powder that I've made. It makes a pretty good ejection charge. Instructions for making this are on my website. Okay, we want about 7/10 of a gram of this. Okay, and that's what we got. Yeah, 7/10. Just about right for ejecting a small model rocket using this powder. Then I'll just funnel it in. And to make sure that that it's tight, I'll use some little rammer to poke a little bit, just to push it down against that head end grain. I really don't need all this tape, so I'm going to cut it off right about there, about a ½ inch beyond the end, and push it over, push it over, push it over. That folds that in. To make sure it stays folded in, I'll mash it on a hard surface like this table, just to push it nicely down to make sure it's round enough to go in the motor mount. I'll roll it a few times on a hard surface. So we have a nicely sealed top end, a nicely sealed nozzle end. I can tell the difference because the nozzle end is twisted. That doesn't need to be that long, so I'm going to cut that off a little bit, make it a little better to store. All right, we'll show how to load this up in an airframe in just a moment. But for right now, we have a well-sealed, ready-to-store model rocket motor. Okay, so now that it's pretty, how do we prepare this to fire in a rocket? Well, one thing is we need to get the igniter in here, but also we want to make some vents in the head end. So I'll take a sharp knife and poke some little holes through the tape all the way down to the powder, because it's a danger that if the powder gases can't vent forward, they'll all vent backwards through the motor out that large nozzle we made, and we won't get ejection, and that's not good. We want ejection. That's why we're going to all this trouble. Now, I'm not going to need that really in the little saucer I'm going to be launching this in, but I want to show you how it's done anyway. So I'll assume that's poked through. Now, the nozzle end, we simply cut off the foil. Well, cut it to get it started, then tear it off. That served as our seal in the meantime, which could have been months. These keep quite well when well sealed. So now we need to make a hole through that nozzle seal, that foil. That's easily done. You just take a sharpened stick or something that'll poke through the nozzle seal. It's so easy that it's hard. Then, remember that little igniter we made a while back with fuse paper wrapped around a bridge wire? Well, here it is again, or one very much like it. And that simply gets inserted until it's all the way up in the grain, all the way against the head end. Now, if you wonder, did I really get that all the way in? Well, you might want to measure. Here I found a skinnier stick that will easily go all the way through the core, and I know it goes that far. Okay, pull this out. I'll note that the head end of the grain is right about where the end of that 0 is, so I'll mark it. Then I'll figure out where this goes, pinch it right there, and shove it in. If it goes in all the way up to, all the way up to where I'm pinching, then I know it's in all the way to the head end. Hopefully it won't come out easily. If it does come out easily, you might want to put a little piece of masking tape or something on this end to prevent it from coming out. Now, in reality, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should not be putting this igniter in until out in the field and ready to fire the rocket. I'm doing that here so I can illustrate how it's done. Since I've gotten ahead of myself, I'll go ahead and catch up with myself by inserting it in this saucer. Okay, insert, insert, insert. Okay, as far as it'll go, and that's fine for the saucer. That'll work well. We'll go fire that in just a moment. See how it works.